So from there we went to Oran, Algeria, then back up to London, England, uh, where the first mate made me a night watchman so that I could go out during the day. Instead of working on the ship, went out during the day and I saw the sights.
So this is all still on the Belgian
Yeah.
ship, and you didn't speak whatever language this
I didn't speak Belgian, but some of the sailors had sailed on English ships, and the officers spoke English.
So, and you were able to make
I was able to make out, yeah. And I learned some Flemish. And so...
so you're back in London, you got promoted to night watch.
Yeah. And so I got to see the Westminster Abbey and the Houses of Parliament and Buckingham Palace and Hyde Park and St. James Park and the Royal Museum and all that sort of stuff, you know.
What were you thinking when you saw that kind of stuff?
Oh, I was in heaven.
Because the artifacts and their symbolic history, or?
Well, I was always a history buff anyway, you know, and so this was right up my alley, you know. So anyway, I made 4 voyages like that. I went from London back to Antwerp, and I made 4 voyages like that, 4 2-month voyages.
4 times in this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I told the first mate, who had been a very good friend to me, oh, there was one thing I forgot to tell you. Going from Oran, Algeria to the Straits of Gibraltar, we ran into a bad storm, and there was a boom that was chained up against the mast, and it started to work loose in its chains. And so the first mate got all the sailors together, and he says, "Who's going to go down and tie down that boom?" And nobody wanted to volunteer because the ship was rolling in this heavy storm, and the mast was going back and forth like a whip. So anyway, me being ignorant, I said, "I'll go up there." I had been up there many times in calm weather, so I started up, and I hadn't got 2 feet off the ground till I kept my mouth shut. Anyway, I got up to the crow's nest after a long, hard climb, and I wrapped my legs around the stanchions, and I had a rope wound around my waist, and I took it and I put a slip knot in it, and every time a boom would come crashing back against the mast, I would haul on it until I got it tied down, you know. Then I tied down and fastened it. And then going down was worse than going up because I couldn't see where I was putting my feet. And the mast was going like this, see? So I finally got down, and the first mate took one look at me and took me to his cabin and gave me a water glass full of gin.
So at least after that, though, did they consider you a true seaman? Did you earn your sea life on that one?
I guess I did. Anyway, as I said before, I went to this first mate.
Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his name now. And I told him I was going to try and get back to the States. And so he said, okay. And
Because
so
you were just homesick for your family.
yes, so he said I should go see the American consul in Antwerp, which I did. And he said, well, he didn't know if he could get me an American ship back to the States, but he would try. Well, I stayed in Antwerp a couple of weeks, and he sent a messenger over to where I was staying at the Rio Rita Cafe, which was a pub-like or a beer joint, whatever you want to call it, near the city hall.
Did they have rooms up above?
They had rooms up above, and I had one of the rooms. And so...
didn't they have phones? I mean, I was thinking...
No, they didn't have phones. This went way back.
Well, that's what year was it?
1937, 38.
Oh.
So anyway, the American consul sent word to me, and I got on a ship of the Black Diamond Line. What was the name of that ship? I can't remember. Anyway, I'll remember later. And I came back to the States, and I went home. And my family was very good all this time. Whenever I came back from my travels, they always welcomed me with open arms.
Had you written to them?
Oh yeah, I had written to them. I had sent them presents from Africa and places like that.
What did they think when you got home and you talked to them? What did they think about where you had been?
Oh, they took it all in their stride.
They still made you take out the garbage.
I still had to take out the garbage.